What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now, Back to the Past. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got another game haul to go over. Now, I'm recording this somewhat early, but this is all in celebration when this video goes up for 1,000 subscribers. So when this video goes up means we did it, and I really do want to thank all of you. I appreciate the heck out of it. I mean, this channel has been the most fun I've had, really, on the 3 channels in the last year. We've been crushing it. You and all your support of watching these and being excited for these. I get excited every time I make these videos and I play these games. I'm truly loving this stuff, and it's given me a really good excuse to go back and buy hundreds and hundreds of dollars of old consoles, old games, but I like it. This is like my passion thing. So thank you again, and well, I won't say the exact amount, but we'll easily say it was over 200. Kind of on the, maybe not easily over 200, it was right around the $200 mark. So I think I got some good ones, some ones that I wanted to kind of fill in the collection. And as I always say, and I rationalize it to myself, you know, I do this thinking, well, each of these games can of course be a video, you know, down the line. So a lot of stuff planned now that we've hit 1,000. You know, I want to do live streams every so often on the channel as well. So lots of stuff, but let's get through this. And I don't even know, I mean, it's a lot of games. It's quite a few games. So let's just start with the top one. And my wife actually found this in the store and said, hey, you know, do you want this? I said, ooh, you know, the condition of it looks really good. So starting out, number 1, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. You can't see, you know, over here, we always talk about, you know, classic Xbox, you know, with the green and the green screen behind me, messing things up. It's the greatest hits version. Now, you know, for the price and for what I saw online, I think this was extremely reasonable to get in store. I always prefer to not get the greatest hits versions or like platinum hits. I think for maybe the original Xbox, I try to go for the original version. But you know what? Honestly, I don't know. It looks really clean. Like, I mean, you can see like the reflection. I like it. I like the quality quite a bit. This game is actually on PS Plus. They added it like a month and a half ago, so that's, you know, that's interesting. But I wanted to have it physically. Comes with the manual. Actually every single one of these, I personally checked for the manual before I bought it. So they all have the full, complete, you know, box thing going on here. So that was number 1. I believe that is the oldest of all the games that we have. Oh, and then quick history. Never played it. Never in my life played it. I mean, I can look at the back. The back looks pretty cool. I'm excited. I'll probably play it through PlayStation Plus, but then maybe we can look a little bit more at the actual game case when one day I do a video on it. But pretty cool that my wife found that, so thank you to her. This game, I actually have written down that I was going to cover, and actually a couple of these, like I purposely got them because I have a list, I have a calendar, and I try to place games, you know, around anniversaries and whatnot, and this was a game that I do want to play this year, and I was just going to do it through Game Pass, but of course getting it physically is the ideal situation. So Crackdown, the very first Crackdown. Now, I watched a friend, like, I don't think I've played these games. I mean, that's a short story. I know I saw them being played in front of me, as I commonly say, you know, like growing up, especially as I got right at like a teenage level, like 13. My friends actually had Xbox, so I played like many of the Halos, the original Halos I had, but a lot of the later Halos, some of Gears, like the Horde mode and stuff, I'd play that through my friends, you know, going to their house. So I definitely saw them play either Crackdown 1 or 2. I know the history of like 3 and like the disaster that was, so I want to go through the whole series. And I know that the first 2 are looked at quite, you know, nicely. So this is, I think this game turns 15 years old. I'm pretty sure if it's not 15, then it's 20 years old. So I know it was a pretty big anniversary, hence why I wrote it down in my book. So once I saw it physically, I said, okay, I need to have it. Next up, and I wanted to have these as well because at least the first game I do also believe is 15 years old this year, and we might actually get the 4th entry, and it's Borderlands. Now this, you know, if I see Game of the Year editions or you know, when DLC is included in the box, you know, I always try to get those. Those are important to me. I think as a collector too important. So yeah, 15, I believe 2009. I think like September or October. So we're not there yet. I think, you know, at the time I'm recording this, at least there's been no announcement of Borderlands 4, but the rumors pretty heavily is that this game would come out in 2024, Borderlands 4. So I wanted to go through at least, you know, a couple of them. I played this. I actually had Borderlands 1 on the Vita Vita as well. Remember that age? So I really like these games. Obviously 3, has its problems, but 1 and getting again the Game of the Year edition, super solid. And then while I was at it, why not just get Borderlands 2? So got that one as well. I could have gotten the pre-sequel. I've played that, I think, through like PlayStation Plus before. I actually think I played it with my wife a little bit, but I never owned it physically, and that's probably the one that I've played the least of that group. So I don't know, this is already reaching a lot of money spent. I figured, okay, we'll just do 2 Borderlands games, but to have both of them is pretty darn good. Okay, next up is a franchise I keep talking about, and while I've gotten into one of the games recently, it's a franchise that I just really haven't gotten into, but I want to. It's the top of my list, really, and it maybe was number 1 or 2 besides Yakuza, last year, that I need to go through, and I need to play as many of these games as humanly possible one day, and that is Final Fantasy 12. Thick. I mean, one day we'll do a video on it, and then we'll kind of go through it more, but this book, I mean, oh my god, like it is, I don't know how to show you. Like, there's just a lot of pages. This is a thick boy. So I'm happy to have it. I got all 3 13s at this point. I got 10, 10-2. I got Final Fantasy 7. I think I have Final Fantasy 9. So I don't have 8. I don't have 1 through 6. But I have 15. I have 16. I have 7 remake, and I have 7 the original. So I'm starting to build. Like, I actually think I have a pretty okay, at this point, collection of the Final Fantasy games. I just haven't experienced any of them, except for literally 15, 16, 7 remake, and watching my sister play a little of 13. That's really my experience playing these games. So this is definitely a franchise I need to go through. Okay. Next up is a game, I gotta be real, I didn't even know this game existed. I knew the base game, and I knew it had DLCs and like Game of the Year editions, etc. But I don't think I've ever actually seen this on store shelves, and I thought, well, again, this is something I think would be okay to pick up. Dragon Age Origins Awakening. So this is the, as it says at the top, the expansion pack. I have Dragon Age 1 on PS3, I have Dragon Age 2 on PS3, I have Dragon Age Inquisition on PS4. But again, once I saw this, watching some of the other retro, YouTube channels out there, I always talk about Retro Rebound being, I think, the best one out there, far better than myself. Again, having everything on the disc. So Borderlands, having it be the, Game of the Year edition, having this have the DLC, important, right? The way you don't ever have to rely, at least in this era, you don't have to rely on the codes, right, of putting it in. So to have the full package deal, I think, is a really good thing. We'll play through, actually, Borderlands 1 also turns 15 years old in the fall. Dreadwolf, right, comes out as well. So at least the first Dragon Age is definitely going to be something we do play later on the channel. I actually didn't even open this one. I think it has a manual, I'm pretty sure. Valkyria Chronicles. So this is I gotta be real, the only times I've seen this franchise online. I played a demo back in the day for one of the, and I have truly no idea which game I played demo for, and I enjoyed it. I like the art style, I like the concept. It's, again, I wouldn't say this is like a high up franchise on my list to play. Again, like Final Fantasy's kind of high up there, is the highest you can possibly go. This is a franchise I'd like to give a look to as time goes on. Okay, this one is probably, if you were to argue, like, did you waste any money, Alex, right? I would argue no. I mean, I think a lot of these are pretty meaningful. This one, you can make the biggest, argument for, because Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, very quickly, number one, at the time you guys see this video, we've already talked about 7 Remake. So I played Intergrade once again on PS5, the Yuffie DLC, all that jazz. When this game came out, I bought it. I had it physically, just like this. I would say a cleaner version. I mean, I take pretty good care. I think the games that I originally own, they're very nicely, they're not like polished, but they don't look dirty or anything. I have no idea what came over me to give it away, because I think I sold it back. So I have this game physically as a case in my hand. Came out, right around that what of 2020, right? The great age, and then I gave it away. So, I have Final Fantasy VII. I have it through PlayStation Plus and all that jazz. So, in terms of ownership, I think it's important. And I think it's actually kind of cool, 2 discs, 1, 2. So that's pretty cool. Again, it's just something I wanted to physically own for preservation's sake, going down the line. It'll be on PS Plus, I imagine, for as long as humanly possible, but I think it's good to actually have it. I gotta move these so that they don't hit my the light to block it from me. Okay, we actually, I think in a video, talked about a newer game in this franchise, but I saw a couple of the older ones, and only one of them I think actually had the manual. So, right there, Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. Same thing, really, that I think I talked about in the last video for, I think I got Ninja Storm 4 on PS4, I believe. So now I got 2 of them. I'm not even a big Naruto guy. My cousin is massively into it. I respect them. I respect them way more now than I ever did. I used to make fun of this franchise to his face, kind of as like a jabbing thing, but I always found the intense monologues to be, kind of silly, but I respect these games quite a bit. And, in that last video we talked about, and I'll be talking about when I do videos on these games, we would go over to our grandmother's house, and again, he was really big into it, and it seemed like these were coming out every year. I don't know if that was actually the case, but we would play it, all the time. And I always remembered looking at it and saying, yeah, these games visually and even how they feel, very cool games, extremely cool. Even though I wasn't a big, anime fan, or I didn't read any of it, I didn't watch it. My sister actually did as well, so she did, he did, but I didn't. But I've always respected the game, so I want to get into them. I want to give them an honest look, and we eventually will. Okay, next up, and in terms of cleanliness, this might be the best looking one of the group. Also, I think the box art just looks really, really cool. Ratchet & Clank All for One. I think it's green. All for One is in green, so you can't see that because of the green screen. Actually, a lot of their eyes are also green. Ratchet & Clank, I've actually played very few of these games. I love the franchise, and I know they've made like 50 of them, but I actually have skipped many ones, a lot of the PS3 generation being them. So I don't think I've ever actually played this game. Obviously I've heard of it. I've heard of many Ratchet & Clank games, so good to add to the collection. Okay, this one, and as the hours are going that I bought it, I feel like something maybe happened to the box cover to it. It looks really cool, but I don't know if something happened. I'll just show you. Grand Theft Auto 3, the Xbox collection. Now, like on the back, it's just the art. It doesn't have like the info. So I'm starting to think that this is something that maybe it shouldn't have been, and it's missing like the back, but it's also the Xbox collection. I don't even know really what that means. GTA 3 is another game that's on my list. With GTA 6 coming out next year, I'm gonna go through as many of these as I can do. So I'm planning on doing 3 this year, maybe even like a Vice City, and I want to nail them all. So Vice City, San Andreas, GTA 4, GTA 5. That's my plan, starting with 3. So I don't even know how I was intending to do it in the first place. I've seen this on PS2 before, the iconic, logo, or the whatever box cover. But this looked pretty cool to me, so I thought, why not? And I believe this is backwards compatible. So even though this is the original Xbox, you can play it on Series X. At least that's what the internet told me, and the internet's never wrong. This one is pretty cool, and I thought, well, why? I saw it and I said, I have to kind of get it. Doom 3. Never played it in my life. Never played the original Dooms in my life. The cover looks really cool. I've seen stuff about. I think I recognize the cover immediately because I feel like I keep looking at Doom and Doom Eternal on Google, and then sometimes this will pop up, and so I've seen this. The look of it has been seared in my brain. So when I saw this, oh my god, that's pretty cool. And it's also kind of thick, the booklet inside, pretty darn massive. So I don't, it doesn't fit an anniversary. It doesn't fit, anything that we're necessarily going to do with it right away. But it is something, I'll get to. And again, I think good to have it. Okay, 4 more, and 3 of them are all the same franchise. So we are getting there, okay? Next up is the classic. We actually talked about this on the channel. Alan Wake. We've said the story before, but, I rented this game over and over and over. That's the story. The friend that I would play Halo through, Gears through, he had the Xbox. There was an era where I would go over and sleep over his house every week, right? At least one day. So, and I was allergic to cats and dogs, and he had 15 cats, so I couldn't really stay 2 days in a row. But every time I would go, again, during probably 13, 14, 15, somewhere in that era, I would save money. Like that's my thing just in life as well. Although you can't really tell from how much I spend. I do save kind of religiously, maybe even too much and too annoyingly. But I would save, and I had a lot of, kind of spare money as a 13, 14-year-old. So I would go to Family Video, which actually took over the Blockbuster that was there, and I'd rent a game every week. And during a stretch, it was Alan Wake. Never heard of it, never saw it, nothing. This got me. Rented it, we played through it, we absolutely loved it. We were actually kind of afraid of the dark going outside at the time, but I never owned it. I only rented through it. So thank God. I mean, it's got the it's got the book. So thank God, I finally got it. All right, so that's a good one. Final 3, all PS2 games. Maybe we'll do them. I'm going to try to line them up kind of in a row. This is a franchise that we'll talk about in a second. Okay, ready? The Hitmans. Hopefully you guys can see it. Yeah, it looks like you can see it. All 3 of them. So Hitman Blood Money, Hitman, I think this is actually backwards, but Hitman Blood Money, Contracts, and Silent Assassin. Okay, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And some of these got like remade or remastered into another version. All complete, all got the manuals and whatnot. This is a franchise that I came into very late. I played Absolution. That was really the first full-on Hitman game that I played. I played Hitman 1. I wasn't into the episodic nature of it. Hitman 2, same thing. Hitman 3, really, and actually, again, my cousin, who we would do the Naruto, he liked it. So I would see Hitman through him, and I was just never good at it because I'm terrible at stealth games, so it never really fit my style. But like I said, I liked Hitman, say 1, which I think was like 2015. Absolution I liked, but I was just never good at it. I never went too much into it. And then they got episodic, and I never really jived with it. Then Hitman 3, just, 3 years ago, maybe, 2021, I think that game came out. I think that game is a masterpiece of it. Like, truly, that is an incredibly good game. It's huge, maps and just the ways of executing people, right? So I think Hitman 3 is the best of the series. Yeah, but again, that's just because it's the first one I actually, start to finish, played through the whole thing and absolutely loved it. So literally a few weeks ago, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, I was thinking, I'm always kind of updating the list of games I want to get. And I thought of Hitman, and I said, I want to get into it. I think I'm very much more able to handle these kind of games now, as an adult and having played so many different genres versus when I was a kid, right? So I think I can take them now. And so yeah, just literally a few weeks ago, I thought, okay, let's get all the Hitman games eventually. Got Absolution, and then got, these. Did I talk about, like, my wife actually bought me a few when she saw, like, I got Witcher 2 through her physically. There's actually a few other games that aren't part of this haul, but that I've gotten in the past, like 2-3 weeks. So I don't know if I made that into a video. Sorry if I didn't. The library continues to grow. Obviously, like I said, the hope is that all of these games eventually become videos. It takes a while. We're doing so much stuff with, even podcasts now. But no, again, I'm very happy I was able to get all these. The plan is to make a video, on each of them. Like I said, some of them, Dragon Age, GTA 3, and there's probably a few others, Borderlands, that I forgot about, we'll be even covering this year, okay? So again, super, appreciate it. Thank you all for the support. This channel is awesome. Like, I really enjoy every single video. It's honestly not a chore for any of the channels, but this feels the most different, and it feels the most kind of unique. And I also kind of feel the best when making these videos, just because I feel like it is the most different, and we're able to kind of just talk about the past this way. So, that's only on my side. It wouldn't be anything if people didn't watch the videos, right? So I appreciate all of you. We'll do another one of these probably around like my birthday, like sometime in like maybe early July. I'm sure I'll have more games, to show you all, and then Christmas again, okay? So thank you for watching. Really appreciate it as always, and I hope to see you all on the next one.